Namaste ji, namaste. So, is there a right age to marry, and is really marrying in these times in which a lot of relationships break down a really right thing to do? That's quite a hot topic amongst youngsters. Let us talk about the biological clock and then consider marriage from that point of view. So, presuming that you marry at the age of 27, 28, which in my opinion is pretty much the ideal age to marry, in the age bracket of 27 to 30. Now, why do I say that? Presumably that you marry at 27, 28, you get 2 to 3 years to explore your partner and explore the world with your partner. So you explore them, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You have your sexual relationships. You end up spending time with the partner if the person is right, of course, as in suits you compatibility wise, you suits your personality. Then for 2 to 3 years before obviously a child comes along, presuming that you have a kid at 30. Now, when you will be 50, the child is going to be 20. You can party with them. The emotional bonding will be much more stronger than, for example, compared to, let us say that you have a child at 37, and then when they'll be 20, you'll be 57, right? And then 5 years or 10 years down the line, when the child has to get married, presuming that they get married at 30, you'll be 67. And if you had a child at, let us say, 30, you will be barely 55, 57 instead of 67, 68 at their marriage. And your elder generation will be gone if you are 67. Obviously, the elders are gone. There has to be a feedback effect, or that you take this feedback and factor it in that we all have a biological clock and things change as soon as you hit 30. A new phase of adulthood comes, right? Your body changes, the hormonal levels changes, the energy level change, and even our tendency to adjust and compromise, which is the second word for a marriage, they keep on getting reduced as soon as our age keeps on popping up and gets increased basically. So at 27, 28, it's peak youth. Pretty much you are mature by then. You're not a bloody idiot that you used to were, and even I was one at 21, 22. There's no stupidity of youth that you have pretty much alongside at the age of 27, 28. If you have grown up, if you've never grown up out of your teenage, well then it's a separate story altogether. And then in a lot of marital disputes, when your elders are around, they can pretty much solve it. So as our generation, we are into bhai aaj phone kharab hua, let's buy a new one. So this is also the tendency with the relationships ki bhaiya hatao, we are just going to get a new one, right? But it destroys you emotionally, it destroys you financially, right? So factor in the biological clock that you are pretty much running against when it comes to marriage. And then women also have another issue to consider, that is menopause. And as more and more the body keeps on getting older, the quality of the child that it can reproduce also keeps on getting lowered down, because our generation really hasn't eaten any good food. We have survived on pizzas and all these pitas and all the halka stuff of the world. We really haven't had any heavyweight food or that our elders used to have. So factor that in mind. Now, should you marry? That is point number 2. Yeah, pretty much if you get the right person who's compatible with your personality. Now, why do I say that? Because marriage is looked down upon by stand-up comedians. Everyone says, marriage is hell, etc., etc. But with the good partner, with a partner who's willing to live life with you, it really is pretty much can be the biggest asset. Because as you get older, so at the age of 24, 25, 27, 28, you're like, I'm the king of the world, I really don't need anyone. And it's pretty much, it's your youth speaking. But when you start hitting your 40s, you need someone to come home to. You need someone to cuddle with. And in fact, in a menopause, a bare hug can actually act as therapy. So you need your partner just to be around, because life gets very, very lonely after 40s, because the youth is gone. So you are mature, so you're much more of a dry person now. But then you pretty much don't have a partner, because two minds are better than one, and life can turn into hell very, very quickly, because life is designed to be like that you fall down very, very quickly. But when there are two people, so maybe you don't end up in a hellhole, provided that obviously the partner is compatible. So you don't marry out of the compulsion to marry, but you do think about marrying in the sense that you are going to get old, and your partner may just be the biggest asset slash support that you have. Your parents are also going to go away. So right now, if you think, the way grandparents are and the parents, etc., all of them are going to stay. No, all of them are also going to age very rapidly, like you are. And I'm not scaring you, I'm just talking about a very realistic perspective on life, right? So this is how you think about. And if you play this game, this is pretty much a game only, mathematically well, and you figure out who is the person that you're trying to get into and what your preferences are, and if the personality is matching, I believe you should go ahead with it. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with a lot of what I've said. That's absolutely okay. It's freedom of speech. You also have it. I also have it. But this is as per my experience in life, because a good marriage partner also evolves you so that you don't end up being an overgrown teenager. You also get the responsibility that now you have to work for the family. And true masculinity also entails that you actually look out for your family, you provide resources for them, and then you have a lovely home to come back to at the end of your workday. And if marriage works out right, then, well, great. Well, if it doesn't work out, obviously it's hell. But if it works out right, there is absolutely no harm in taking a shot at it. And obviously, as with all things in life, the chance of failure is also there, like we discussed in the previous episode. And chances of us getting killed off in an accident on the road also are there, right? That doesn't mean that we never really step out of our homes and get into a car, because essentially we are in a tin box that can get crushed anytime by a bigger tin box, but we still take a shot. Therefore, marriage is also something that it is worth taking a shot over. And another problem that I see with the youth is that always being in the rush for the better model. You can say, maybe I get a better person. If the person loves you unconditionally, or even with some condition, but they still do love you, I believe that hold on to that, because at the end of the day, the looks wither away. The personality also can wither away if you get Alzheimer's or dementia, etc. If the person really supports you, looks out for you, I believe that's your pretty much the best bet, because getting the better model is just like the iPhone. Every year it changes. As technology keeps on changing, better models also keep on coming up. But in relationships, in the domain of human beings, pretty much it's most of them all are pretty much the same. And if anyone actually takes care of you and is willing to stand with you through thick and thin, because that is what marriage is, that A, I'm not going to be sleeping with somebody else, B, I'm going to be standing along with you. If that is the case, well, then you go right ahead if you find someone such as that, because you may just never get that again. And as you get older and older and older, because that you can't run away from, the dadi safed honi hai, you can't really, all that you can do is dye it out, like I don't do, but generally people do dye their beards. I think I also try later in the month or something. But age you must. So things don't remain the same in life, and we're going to talk about this in the next one, about how the circle of life and how it works out in most cases. All right, now see you in the next one. Take care. Wishing you all the best. And if you're at a marriageable age, 27 to 30s, start looking out for a partner. May just be the best thing that you ever did. Chances of failure will always be there, but chances of failure are everywhere in every domain of life. All right, see you in the next one. Take care.